Hey folks, this is Salami. Welcome back to another video, and hoo boy, I've got a cracker for you right here. Blizzard has overhauled the entire graphical user interface thingy in a way you could never expect. So you probably know by now that you can change your graphics settings by opening up the game menu, clicking on settings, and then playing with the little slider. Well, you might not know that Blizzard just changed how this slider affects all areas of the game. We're currently set on number 6 right now. That's pretty typical, I would say. WoW looks alright and plays smooth on these settings, but you should try and play around with your slider after today's huge patch. It's actually insane what they've managed to do with it. Even moving it up or down by just one tick changes so much in-game. It's really impressive what they can get this 10-year-old engine to do. So let's go down to start with, graphics setting number 5. Again, it's just baffling how many changes come with just one tick down on the slider. You get a very different approach to graphics on this setting. Things maybe a bit more bland, not quite as colourful, although I would say some of the player models look a little better, strangely. We're on lower graphics here. Some weapons really get a shiny touch added to them as well, and I think mounts actually do a little more on this graphics setting. This setting does come with less gear grinding, but it also tends to throw a lot of daily objectives your way. Let's see what happens when we go even lower. Let's move down to graphics setting 4. Now I feel like half the game just disappeared and we're left with all of the RNG that's been plaguing the game for a little while now. There's also a little bit of lore tacked on, just a little bit, and we can even see a little bit into the future on these settings because Blizzard likes to hide little snippets of information in between the cracks. This setting seems a little boring though if you ask me. Let's see what happens if we go down another notch. Yeah, this one is definitely more like it, and as you can see, I just hopped into a Warfront real quick because it's one of the most enjoyable parts of Battle for Azeroth right now. Warfronts allow you to play in a really interesting way. You can collect resources and build your own base, and then take the fight to the opposite faction. I think they could have done a little bit more when it comes to Warfronts and have them actually change hands, kind of like how Wintergraph did back in the days of Wrath of the Lich King, but I think this Warfront looks a bit better on this graphic setting actually. I could probably play this Warfront all day long, but in order to test out these graphics options, I guess I'll just have to desert it. Let's see what happens on number 2. Okay, so that changed quite a bit more than what I would have expected, and I did read up a little bit on these graphics changes before I made this video, so I can tell you that on this graphics setting, you apparently don't have any factions anymore. In fact, you don't really have much of anything anymore, and most of what you do boils down to how much time you want to sink into a really, really long grind. Everything's just really grindy on this graphic setting. The good news though is that you do have quite a few options if you have a lot of time to spend. You can cut down trees and stuff and light fires. You can go fishing too if you like. Let's go down to that magic number 1 on the graphics slider. Oh wow, yeah, that's very different. It seems like a completely different game at this point, and I think the graphic settings are so low, the only thing really left for you to do is professions related. Lots of gathering and mining, crafting and producing stuff. I guess the game can't really render anything else. Something to do with not enough shadows or rods or something else, pipes on the graphics card and all that jazz. But at least professions seem to actually get more content on this graphic setting. Maybe because it's the only thing left to do. I'm not too sure. Oh well, let's set this back to the default settings of 6 for now. That was a crazy adventure. They really did a number on this whole graphics setting thing, didn't they? I'm loving the changes so far though, but I wonder what the game looks like if we increase the settings. Let's start with bumping it up to 7. Alright, not too bad. Things are kind of similar, but everything looks quite different. I think we can still do quests and dungeons and raids on this setting, so that's really good. There's more of an emphasis on dragons too, and it's a little more open-ended, but not quite as open-ended as you might like. It's kind of like you wish it was a single-player game, but for some reason Blizzard decided to make it an MMO instead, and removed a lot of the fun parts at the same time. Let's try go up another notch to graphics setting 8. Wow, that's changed things even more, but maybe it's for the best. The graphics are very beautiful indeed, even though the characters look a little more anime-ish. I've heard Goldshire can get really weird on this graphic setting too. It's like Moonguard Goldshire, but 10 times worse. The global cooldown changes are also a bit more impactful when you use these graphic settings for some weird reason. Things take forever to cast, and it's really slow-paced if you're a low level. That must be a real pain to get past, but let's keep going and check out the settings on graphics 9. This one might be the most impressive change so far, but then again we are on graphics setting 9. You must need like 3 GTX 2080s to run this smoothly. Just look at those lines, the art style, the horrible deaths over and over. How did they manage to get World of Warcraft to look this good? It's like a completely different game. The controls have changed at the same time too, for a bit of an odd reason, but I'm not too sure what you can actually do on this graphics setting. But even if it's like setting 1, where all you can do is profession related stuff, I think I would be happy. And finally, let's see what World of Warcraft looks like at its very best on graphics setting 10. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. I think this might be the most impactful update that this game has ever received. Just look at those graphics. I can't wait to see what all the allied races look like on this graphics setting. It's absolutely unbelievable. Did you know we're also getting the light-touched undead allied race? That would look so good with all these details, the shadows, the textures. It's hard to believe this game is over 10 years old, right? They did an amazing job updating their graphics engine to be able to render this in real time. I'm flabbergasted. But that's all of the new graphics options. I hope they keep adding to them later on down the line. I think World of Warcraft is definitely going to be the best looking game out there in just a few years if they keep going at this pace. It's so awesome. What do you think of the new graphics slider and how much it affects the game? Which graphics option is your favourite and why? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to join these lovely guys and gals, I'll probably end up wasting your hard-earned money on something really silly, like buying Uno for a single video and forgetting it exists right afterwards. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next year. And because this video didn't manage to hit the 10-minute mark, enjoy a few minutes of silence, because 10 minutes is all a YouTuber ever cares about for no reason in particular.